Continuing coverage tonight of a mass shooting at a Brookfield spa. It happened at the Azana Spa just across the street from Brookfield Square Mall. 7 people were shot, 3 of them killed. The gunman then took his own life. Police say 45-year-old Radcliffe Haughton is the man who eventually killed himself. But who is Radcliffe Haughton? What do we know about him? We know he was a successful car salesman at one point, but that job was lost several months back.
And tonight we have learned that Haughton most recently was a student at MATC getting ready to apply to the nursing program there. In a Fox 6 exclusive, our Myra Sanchik talked with someone close to him, his anatomy professor.
He was always kind of a louder, more lively person. So he was not one that, would be in the background. He'll always be in the front row.
But 2 to 3 weeks ago, MATC anatomy professor Jeffrey Lee noticed things changed. Radcliffe Haughton seemed depressed and told Lee he had personal problems.
He really didn't go into detail. He just said that his wife told him that he had to leave, and, one of the main concerns that he had was that he couldn't afford to live somewhere else.
The Milwaukee County Sheriff Department confirms on October 8th, Haughton was served a summons for a restraining order. On Haughton's Facebook page post, October 8th, need to get out of Wisconsin, help. October 9th, he wrote, can anyone help get me out of Wisconsin? In court, October 18th, Haughton was ordered to turn in his firearms to the Sheriff's Department.
He called me on the verge of tears. At that point, I tried to get him some help to do what we call at MATC, a retention alert. All right, so then, but we need to get his okay for that. So put him in there for retention alert. At first he said it was okay for me to get started.
Professor Lee was hopeful the school could help Haughton with housing or any other help he needed to get through his personal problems.
And then changed his mind on me.
2 weeks ago, Monday, Haughton told Lee he didn't think he could make it through his exam.
And after 5 minutes, he just knew he couldn't focus. So he turned his test in. As he turned his test in, I said, why don't you do it Friday? And he looked really sad. So at that point, I gave him a big hug.
Lee expected Haughton to show up for a makeup exam Friday. Haughton did not show. That hug would be the last time Lee would see him.
And I think he just felt trapped and he snapped.
Professor Lee says in no way does he condone the actions of Haughton. He says it's just been a long and painful day texting back and forth to fellow students in his class. Haughton had worked at several car dealerships before going to MATC. Live in the newsroom, Myra Sanchik, Fox 6 News.
Did he get into the source of his personal problems when he was talking to his anatomy professor? The professor there said he's dealing with some personal problems. Did he ever say what they were specifically?
Yeah, he did tell him he had marital problems and financial problems, but he was really a private person. I also talked to a student who knew him and said he was very, very closed about what exactly was bothering him.
And we really commend the professor there for reaching out for him, very diligently and expeditiously. So sounds like he did have a support unit in place. Myra, thank you for that report.
Well, immediately after the shooting, authorities thought Radcliffe Haughton was on the run.
And as that